Why does the act of thinking define the very essence of what it means to be human? Welcome to a journey into the mind. Why are we never satisfied with simply seeing and acting? Why do we possess an unceasing drive to understand the why behind everything? Why do some spend their entire lives in a state of constant questioning, throwing infinite queries into the silence of their own souls? Animals live within the boundaries of instinct. They eat, they survive, and they reproduce, driven by the rhythms of nature. But humanity does not stop there. We transcend biology through our capacity for abstract thought and ethical inquiry. It is the ability to ask why that truly separates us. Why do we live? Why does the universe follow these specific laws? In the heart of ancient Athens, the philosopher Socrates walked the streets, not seeking wealth, but seeking the truth through dialogue. He challenged his fellow citizens to look beyond the superficial. He argued that something far more precious than power existed. That precious thing was the capacity for independent thought, the ability to judge for oneself what is good, just, and true. He famously declared that the unexamined life is not worth living. This statement remains a cornerstone of our moral philosophy. Fast forward to the 21st century, we find ourselves in an era defined by a staggering, overwhelming surplus of information. Every time we open our smartphones, we are met with a torrential downpour of news, images, videos, and endless notifications. Artificial intelligence now writes our text, and algorithms decide which fragments of reality we are allowed to perceive. The problem begins here. While information is abundant, our actual time spent in deep contemplative thought is rapidly shrinking. Today, many of us simply react to the stimuli on our screens. We consume without digesting, we follow without questioning. This trend is perhaps the most significant silent crisis of our time. Without thought, we become susceptible to manipulation. A person who does not think is easily led. They are prone to sudden outbursts of anger and often lose themselves in the crowd. Philosopher Hannah Arendt explored this in her analysis of the banality of evil. She found that great harm often stems from thoughtlessness. She noted that many who committed horrific crimes were not uniquely cruel. They were simply individuals who had stopped asking questions. They followed orders with chilling efficiency because they had abandoned the difficult, messy task of moral and personal reasoning. When we stop thinking for ourselves, we begin to live within the architecture of someone else's thoughts and decisions. In contrast, those who embrace the power of thought become the architects of their own lives, capable of building a unique destiny. History itself is a record of those who dared to think differently. They are the figures who refused to accept the status quo. Galileo Galilei looked at the heavens and asked a question that would change everything. Is Earth truly the stationary center of it all? It was a dangerous, heretical question for its time. It challenged the very foundation of the established religious and scientific order. Yet, that single act of inquiry eventually shattered the old geocentric model and birthed our modern understanding of the cosmos. Similarly, Charles Darwin looked at the incredible variety of life on Earth and wondered about the hidden mechanism behind such diversity. His journey on the HMS Beagle was more than a physical trip. It was a profound intellectual odyssey that redefined life itself. The theory of evolution was not just a scientific breakthrough, it was a testament to the power of asking why across decades of study. Martin Luther King Jr. asked why rights should be determined by something as superficial as skin color. His question moved a nation. His refusal to accept injustice led to a seismic shift in American law and society, proving that thought can indeed change the world. The common thread in all these transformations is the refusal to accept things as they are. It all begins with a single, focused thought. A thinking person is a truth seeker. They are not content with easy answers or the comfortable illusions of the majority. This constant pursuit of truth is what fuels progress. It is the engine that drives humanity toward a brighter, more rational future. The French philosopher Blaise Pascal once beautifully described humanity as a thinking reed. This image is both humble and grand. We are as fragile as a reed in the wind, easily broken by nature. But because we can think, we contain the entire universe within us. Our true strength is not found in the power of our muscles, but in the power of our minds, our ability to reason and reflect. Thinking elevates our existence. It allows us to become more than just biological entities. It allows us to become creators. Let us examine the three gifts of a thinking life. First, the development of independent judgment and critical discernment. When we think, we are no longer swept away by the whims of the crowd or the loud, distracting noise of the latest digital trends. Second, thinking provides us with a deeper, more meaningful life. We begin to understand the why behind our own choices. We live with purpose. Every decision is filtered through our own values, rather than being a mere reaction to external pressure. Third, and perhaps most importantly, we gain the power to influence and change the world around us. Every great innovation, every social breakthrough, and every scientific discovery started with a single, daring question. To think is to be an active participant in life. To refuse to think is to be a passive passenger on a journey you do not control. The path forward for humanity is not found in more data, but in more reflection. We must reclaim our capacity for deep focus. We must learn to sit with ourselves, to ask the difficult questions, and to listen for the answers that come from within. In the stillness of a quiet mind, we find the clarity needed to navigate the complexities of our rapidly changing world. Thinking is a skill that must be cultivated. Like a muscle, it grows stronger with use and remains vital through practice. Every book read, every conversation shared, and every moment of solitude is an opportunity to expand the library of your mind. A society of thinking individuals is a society that is resilient, innovative, and deeply committed to the common good. When we think together, we can solve the greatest challenges of our age and build a world that reflects our highest values. So, I invite you today to pause, put down the screen for a moment, ask yourself, what truly matters to me? This internal journey is the most important one you will ever take. It is the journey toward your true, authentic self. To conclude, remember that to be human is to be a thinker. Our existence is not merely biological, it is intellectual and spiritual. Thinking is the ultimate act of being. It gives our lives weight, meaning, and a sense of profound purpose. We are human not because we live, but because we think. Let that be your guiding principle in everything you do. This exploration was inspired by the works and research of Dr. Jongmoon Ko, a dedicated scholar of the humanities. I am James Ko, and it has been my privilege to share these thoughts with you today. Thank you for your time. If you wish to delve deeper into these topics, please feel free to reach out via email. I look forward to connecting. May your days be filled with meaningful questions and profound insights. Until next time, keep thinking. Subscribe and follow for more academic insights and philosophical journeys. Thank you for your support. Our search for knowledge continues. Every question we ask brings us one step closer to the truth. Humanity is a bridge to the future, built with the bricks of our shared understanding and collective thought. Shaktim Humanities, Philosophy, Thinking, Socrates, Arendt, Knowledge, Shak Truth, Reflection, Dr. James Ko. Recommended search: Philosophy, Logic, History of Ideas, Critical Thinking, Ethics, Human Existence. Stay curious, stay thoughtful. Have a wonderful day. Final thoughts by Dr. James Ko. Goodbye.